I remembered one day I was like, had run out of my prescription. I knew I couldn't get more until the next week. And I remembered that my veterinarian had given me this hydrocodone cough syrup for my dog. And so I called and got more. And then I was like, oh, well, that was easy. So the next day I took him to a new vet.
She was doctor shopping her dog.
Yes, I did. Named him something different at that vet. And then, like, the next day I went to another one. And before I knew it, I had a vet for every day of the month giving me refills on this enormous amounts of hydrocodone cough.
Built by the Redstick, you can't tell me nothing. Built by adversity, led by courage. Everybody doubted me, now everybody proud of me. I swear to God, I'm gonna be everything.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. It's Built by the Redstick. Your boy Ronnie LeDuff, Michael Oakley. Do us a favor. Subscribe, like, share. Subscribe on everything.
It's free to support, bro.
Everything.
It is so free to support. Check this out real quick before you go to the sponsors. We need 3. Where's my camera at? Right here. We need 3 followers on TikTok.
Tiki-taki.
To reach 1,500. 3. So if you got a heart, if you got a finger, if you got a phone, if you have internet service, just be one of those 3.
Smash it.
Something about the word 3 motivates me. Are you going to be that third person? Are you going to be the first or the second? I don't know. Just do it. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And now a quick word from our sponsors.
And this episode is brought to you by Rayville Recovery Treatment Center. Rayville is about an 80-plus bed facility in North Louisiana, just about 3 hours north of Baton Rouge. It's the #1 co-occurrence residential treatment facility in the state of Louisiana. If you're struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with alcohol or drug abuse, give my people at Rayville Recovery a call. The number is 318-728-5488 and tell them I sent you. And I know you probably like, well, I want to get help, but that's 3 hours away. Don't trip. They got you. They will come pick you up. They will transport you all over from the state of Louisiana. I'm talking all 4 corners, even the central. They coming to get you. Admission is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you got to do is call that number, 318-728-5488. And then you probably like, well, I want to get some help, but I don't have insurance. Don't trip. They got you. They even take uninsured people for help. No man or woman left behind. Call my beautiful people at Rayville Recovery today. Again, that number is 318-728-5488. Rayville Recovery. Recovery redefined. The journey starts with you.
And we're back. All right, so first and foremost, thank everybody for spending their lovely Friday with us.
Yes. And we're glad everybody had a safe 4th.
Well,
we didn't hear nothing crazy other than the flooding in Texas. Our condolences go out. What?
4th's way past.
I know.
Way past.
But we hadn't seen them since. And I hadn't been able to send my condolences to the people that's in Texas. But it's still.
We've got a fire guest today.
We do.
And as Built by the Redstick tradition, I will now alley-oop it to the best hype man in the country, your very own, Built by the Redsticks, Ronnie LeDuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, housewife and gutter rats, we have the pleasure of having stop. We have the pleasure of having probably the most wholesome person that I've met in recovery, right? When you see her, and I'm sure you're seeing her right now, and like, she look like she finna bake them some cookies. But I promise you, her story is not worn on her. We have the pleasure, the privilege, and the honor of having Jenny, not the one from the block, but the one...
Not the one from the block.
The one that we've grown to love so much. Miss Jenny is in the Built by the Redstick building. Let's give her a hand clap.
Welcome.
And it was so flattering, right? So, when your peers and your colleagues in this profession, you know, they come to you and they like, oh my God, like y'all doing so great. Like I want to be a part of it. That's what happened with Jenny.
Okay.
She was like, y'all the best ever. Like whenever I'm watching Built by the Redstick, I tell my husband, shut up, Mike and Ronnie on. She's like, I just gotta be a part of it.
Shut your mouth.
Shut up, Built by the Redstick is on. But no, thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank you.
joining
Thank
us.
you. We
I know
appreciate
it got a
it.
little wonky, got a little crazy, but we got you in here.
No, thank y'all for having me.
Yes,
I'm really
ma'am.
excited to be here.
Absolutely.
So we got the starting question.
Starting question that we hit everybody with. Who you voted for? Now I'm joking.
That's a good one. That is a good one. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So, my name is Jenny, and I am a mom of 2 kids. My kids are 25 and 22.
Sheesh.
I have been married for 27 years to my husband.
Oh, real love is alive, people.
Yes.
Real love is alive still.
It takes work,
I can imagine.
hard work. I have been in recovery since my sobriety date is April 10th, 2019.
Come on.
We super close too. That's my sobriety sister.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm April 13th, 2019.
I know.
Yeah. And you know, I feel like I'm a 50-year-old woman that my life didn't start in like authenticity until I found recovery. It was a lot of you know, just fakeness for me. And so I learned how to be my real self in recovery.
Came into your own.
Yes.
And so what area has Miss Jenny did her tormenting and her rebuilding?
Tormented, that's a good word.
So what area of Louisiana?
Okay, so I grew up in North Louisiana
Okay.
in Shreveport, and I had this super idyllic childhood. Like my first sponsor called my family like the Hallmark family. She was always like, I come from Roseanne Barr, but you have like a Hallmark family. And, you know, I always thought that was something that separated me from the ability to be an addict or an alcoholic. Like I didn't have childhood trauma or adverse childhood experiences. I just had this like super happy, normal, you know, mom and dad at the dinner table every night. My parents have been married for 53 years almost.
It runs in your
Yeah.
family. Is long marriages hereditary?
It can't be because my grandparents are married, my parents are married, and
Oh, that's right. Yep, never mind. All right. Continue.
You know.
broke the cycle.
I was about to say you debunked my theory like within 5 seconds.
But I didn't find drugs and alcohol as a solution for myself until I was like 28.
Right.
You know, I drank. I think I drank like an alcoholic looking back, like in high school and college. I always drank more than my friends, especially in college. I went to Baylor University, which is a Baptist school.
Baylor.
Baylor? You went there with Robert Griffin?
No.
He was not there then.
Okay. Who was there? Archie Manning?
Archie didn't go to Baylor.
Oh, so-
Archie went to Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's right.
At the
that's right.
time I was at Baylor, Waco was known for one thing, and that was David Koresh.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
That was my freshman year.
Wow, the juice man.
So,
That's the juice man, ain't it?
no.
David Koresh ain't the people made him drink that juice?
No,
No, they didn't drink
That's
the
Jim
juice. But
Jones.
no, that he was the.
he had a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made people drink the juice.
No, they had the Waco incident where ATF agents and FBI agents ended up the big mishap, and
Yeah.
So which one made the people drink the
that was
Kool-Aid?
in Colorado, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was Jim Jones, man.
Not in Waco.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was a cult.
We ADHD, so we gonna
Hey,
start there.
I'm good with that. But you know, so after I got married, my husband and I moved to Covington. And well, we lived in New Orleans first when we got married. Then we moved back to Shreveport because I had a baby and I wanted to be close to my family. And his company moved us back down to the south. So we've been in Covington for 24
man.
years.
The Covington area.
The coveted money. You ain't gotta say nothing else. We already know how you living, Miss Jenny.
This guy
It's
here.
cool.
So, what were some of the things that led you to getting into the recovery yourself, and then we'll get into how you found yourself in the recovery field?
Okay. So, I had been using opiates and alcohol for a long time. I was unhappy personally. I was unhappy in my marriage. You know, I was like, my kids were getting older, and I'd always been a stay-at-home mom, and my daughter went to college, and my son had his own car, and like,
Oh
what
no.
about me?
Yeah.
What is going to happen to me? My husband travels a lot for work. So like, what am I going to do? I have nothing.
What's my purpose?
I found myself feeling like I have nothing for myself because, I never became like an independent adult, right? Like I got married young. I think I was 23. Um, and I went from my parents' house to my husband's house. Like I never lived by myself. I always had a roommate in college. I was never responsible for my own bills,
You
like
ain't missing nothing. I don't know if you know. Like she asked us,
isn't
you
that
want
the
us to have
truth,
sympathy for
right?
you right now?
No sympathy needed. But I just never like became a grown up. Is
Right.
kind of how I felt. And so anyway, um the day I decided to go to treatment, I mean it was just like a normal day, and um I had left my house and I was driving down I-12 and I was going to pick up another prescription. And I had this like very vivid kind of image of my 16-year-old finding me dead and being in the house alone with my body while his dad was out of town. And I thought,
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
that is not the legacy I can leave for him. So I knew there was a rehab in my town called Long Branch. And I just drove there and rang the doorbell. And
Just pulled up.
yep,
Hell yeah.
right into the parking lot.
So wait, you were one and done too, right?
So I had in 2005, I had been to like a detox program and
Okay.
I remained abstinent for 8 years.
Okay.
But I didn't find recovery. Like the first AA meeting I went to, I was like, I do not belong here. I am so
What are you? No.
so different from these people. I didn't live under a bridge. I wasn't homeless. The only reason I wasn't homeless is because my dad took care of all of my financial crisis. Like
That's what dads are
it
for.
wasn't.
Though.
No.
That's what we for.
I'm working on financial amends for that. And it'll take me a lifetime. But
Show me what that look like. Start with me.
Ronnie.
oh, you're so funny. But that day, so I call it like a God moment, a
Absolutely.
moment of clarity, And I rang the doorbell, and the nurse answered the door, and I said, "I think I'm gonna die. Can somebody help me?" And they took me in this room and did like an assessment. And I mean, manipulative till the end, making somebody else do my dirty work. I'm like, look, I need to stay here for 90 days and I will do every single thing y'all tell me. But you have to call my husband and tell him I'm here. And I need you to call my parents and ask them to pay for it.
Yeah. So no insurance right now. You just
I had insurance, yeah. But, I knew that my insurance wouldn't cover 90 days of treatment.
right.
And
No, they ain't covered 90 days in
That's
a
what I
long
was gonna
time.
say.
Right.
Yeah, because you got sober back when I did, and it
They
was
ain't covered
yeah,
90
that
in a
was over
long,
with.
long
And
time.
so I knew I needed a really long-term program, and so I knew it would cost something,
Right.
plus deductible and out of
Right.
pocket, and always along with my addiction, I was constantly spending money we didn't have, and I was using.
Would one might classify you as a shopaholic as
Oh,
well?
for sure, for sure.
Yes.
I've gotten a lot better about that.
You sure
though.
about that?
Yes, 100%. Yep.
You wasn't just shopping in the outside.
No.
Oh, Carrie.
No. So crazy. No more shopaholic. I can balance my
I
checkbook.
relate. I can go on a shopping spree with the best of
Dude,
them.
I got married, so
Yeah.
I didn't have to do none of that stuff. Shout out my baby, but I don't do none. Balance or what? What is that? But go ahead. It's about
Yeah.
you, not me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So those are some of the things I've learned in recovery.
Right.
Is like being a good steward of finances and contributing to my family, because before it was just all about me, 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 me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But so after I left Long Branch, I knew that I wanted to go back and work as a recovery advocate. And so, they told me when you make a year sober. So I made a year sober on April 10th, 2020, and I started my job as a recovery advocate on April 16th, 2020.
And so you went to Long Branch,
I went to Long
and then you
Branch.
that's where you first started working?
Yeah. And I
Okay.
went back when I made a year. And, I've just kind of had these opportunities to step into different roles, which is such a privilege. So I
You're
worked
being
in.
modest. She runs Long Branch.
No, I do not.
You can't get close to Long Branch without Jenny.
That is not
So
true.
go ahead and let the people know the truth,
That is
Jenny.
not true.
It's not Jenny on the block, it's Jenny
not
on the branch.
Jenny at the
Jenny-
branch, man. It's Jenny at the branch, baby.
We can
Let's
start
go.
calling me that.
That's what I'm
Jenny
about
on
to
the
save your
branch.
number on my phone as now.
Jenny at the branch. Yes, indeed. So, Ronnie makes jokes about, but what is it that you do at Long Branch now for the people?
So now I'm in marketing
Okay.
and business development, which I consider to be a job of managing relationships.
Absolutely.
Love
And
it.
I love it because, meeting guys like you in
Yeah.
recovery, like everywhere I go, conferences, meeting at other treatment centers, I get to meet people in long term recovery
Yep.
Absolutely.
who inspire me and, make me want to do great things and help as many people as possible. And so, we get calls all the time like, maybe somebody's not a fit for my program, but I'm gonna help them find a place to go.
And you do. Yeah.
Which is the relationships that we manage as we, connect with each other. John Doe might not be good for us, but he's good for y'all. Or
Right.
might not be good for y'all, but he's good for Ronnie. Or might not be good, and
Right.
we bounce people.
And they have a great veterans program too at Long Branch.
Absolutely.
And I know that's much needed in the state of Louisiana, all over really, but in the state of Louisiana. So kind of tell them about the veterans program
Yeah,
that
so
y'all have at Long Branch.
We have our traditional 30 to 90 day residential treatment, but we have a place called Nora House, which is like an extended care program for veterans. We have 20 beds for male veterans and 7 female beds. It is on this beautiful 17-acre piece of property with like a stocked pond for fishing. And, it's a true extended care program, meaning it's staffed 24/7. Not only are our clients doing IOP and getting to do trauma work if necessary, yoga therapy program.
Yoga therapy.
We have a phenomenal family program, so we're getting to help their families. But they also are learning a lot of life skills. Their case managers are working with them on budgeting. We're working on a permanent housing plan the day they admit to Nora so that when they leave in 3 to 6 months, we know where they're going. We know it's a solid place that will support recovery.
Absolutely.
And so, it's giving these men and women a sense of community. They walk in, they're all veterans, so they have this sense of belonging with each other. And I think that is, one of the things that I think about in addiction is the lack of connection that I had
Yep.
to myself, to God,
Yep.
and to people.
Absolutely.
And so I think the ability for them to connect with each other is like a leg up. You've got this community behind you, supporting you and your recovery, and they do that for each other. They hold each other accountable. It's fantastic.
That's beautiful. I've heard a lot about it. I hadn't been invited yet. I don't know what I got to do. But,
Anytime. Y'all
yep,
come
I
on
heard it's
down.
beautiful. So,
You want to be invited?
we had to see
Yeah,
it.
come tour.
To
Come
view
take
it.
a tour.
Tour, yeah.
Come on.
So we was eating one day, eating lunch, and you told this very funny story about the dog. Please tell us the dog story and how
Okay.
bad. I mean, of course, things had gotten that bad, and
Right. It's like the insanity of the disease,
Yeah.
So I did not, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, did not know how to find a drug dealer. Okay, I've never smoked marijuana. Okay, but I became this enormous drug addict, opiate addict, and so the prescription monitoring program really messed with me, like
Fucked up the whole game.
right, 100%.
Yeah.
So, like the last 6, 7 months of my addiction, I remembered one day I was like, had run out of my prescription. I knew I couldn't get more until the next week. And I remembered that my veterinarian had given me this hydrocodone cough syrup for my dog. And so I called and got more. And then I was like, oh, well, that was easy. So the next day I took him to a new vet.
She was doctor shopping her dog.
Yes, I did. Named him something different at that vet. And then, like, the next day I went to another one. And before I knew it, I had a vet for every day of the month giving me refills on this enormous amounts of hydrocodone cough syrup.
So what does a dog need hydrocodone cough syrup for?
Well, I said my dog had a collapsing trachea. I mean, I would make up this enormous backstory, like we just moved here.
It was
my vet
impressive,
closed, and they lost our records, and this is the meds they had him on, and it was wild.
Do they have a prescription monitoring program for dogs?
Now they do. They put
do
a
they
dog
really?
on it. They put a little dog picture on the PMP now.
Wow.
It
So
was impressive, bro.
my 30th day in treatment, my husband came in at like 6:30 on a Friday with my therapist, and I knew it was not good. And I sat down, and he said, "So, at like 5:30 this morning, there was a SWAT team on our front porch. They came in with battering rams and their guns drawn, and you have 26 felony counts of prescription fraud." And I was like, "Whoa, like what?"
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I told you. I couldn't explain it all the way, but I knew she had did something crazy. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Wait, they kicked your dough down for a dog, though?
well, they.
I mean, she had a prescription, a veterinarian for every day.
That's pretty
did.
impressive, though, bro. You got to admit that you was able to pull. And how long did you pull this off?
like 6, 7 months.
Now, you
And-
know that you only was able to pull it off because,
Well, right. So
no. You know
I didn't look the part. I looked,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I knew what you were saying.
yeah, it was fascinating, and I kept it all in my phone, which made it super easy for the popo. I had like
You learned that word
like
in
a
rehab.
spreadsheet.
You never said that word a day in your life until you got around this Medicaid people.
I had to, like, I kept it all on my phone, what I named my dog at what vet and, like, what pharmacy I used to fill it. Because some vets will fill it in-house, but some would just write a prescription. It's like human medicine. And so...
Did you have to show your ID, though? When you go, or you just be like, hey, this Scruffy,
Yes,
he here with
I
me.
would show my ID.
And they never flagged.
No, it was wild.
I knew dogs was good for something.
There is now a dog monitoring prescription
Right.
program, so do not try this at home.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do not.
And even if you do, and even when there wasn't, the lady still ended up with 26 felony
26
counts
felony.
of prescription
Yes.
fraud,
Yes.
and the SWAT team busting in her house.
Yeah.
God,
And you say your dog had a collapsing tricycle?
Trachea.
Or trachea? How did
tricycle, bro. The dog riding a bike and keeps collapsing and breaking his leg or
Hey,
something.
man, I don't put nothing past dogs no more. If he needed hydrocodone,
So
that's
it
wild.
was that's the insanity
But yeah, the depths of what we
of
get
the
to.
disease, right?
Absolutely.
Like I didn't know how to find a drug dealer. I mean, I Googled it, but it did not tell me where to go.
She Googled.
And so I'm like, okay, well, then I'm gonna have to get creative, right? And that is what we do. I mean, I had ruined all of my friendships because I would go to my friends' houses and steal their pills and replace them with Tylenol or, whatever I had in my. I mean, I carried round and oval white, Tylenol in my purse so that I could do that. Like
That is fire.
it's insane, right?
So they
Absolutely.
used to
And
talk
so-
about you while they eating their $300 Wagyu. You know what I'm saying?
Like nobody wanted to be friends with
Yeah.
me anymore.
Jenny at the branch.
Now jokes on you. Now they need you.
But my husband spoke to these detectives for a long time, and they agreed to leave me in treatment. They were
Right.
like, okay, it's not doing anybody any good if we drag her out of
Right.
treatment. So I had to turn myself into jail the day after I got out. I got out on a Sunday, and
How was that experience?
um terrifying, but also really humbling.
Yeah.
And, there's a part in the big book when it talks about making amends, and it says that we will do whatever it takes to make amends. And I had gotten there in my 90 days of treatment. I had
Yeah.
worked really hard with my sponsor and my spiritual relationship to get my mindset to where I wanted to do whatever it took to make things right.
Yeah.
And that does not mean apologizing. That means taking action. And so I was like willing, if that is what it was going to take to make it right, to go to jail or prison, I would. I mean, I had this very, you know, I would say watered down like jailhouse experience, right? Like I met with the detectives and my lawyer for
Bail was planned.
bail was not
Oh,
planned
bail was
because
okay.
there were so many counts they didn't know what the judge was going to do. But so I was in there for like 10 hours. My husband bailed me out, and then you know the grace of God, I got into the diversion program because it was my
Mhm.
first charge ever, and that is
Hell of a first
only
charge, though.
And disclaimer: we're not telling y'all if it's y'all first time to get in trouble, you can get 30 felonies and get away with it.
No.
no
Do not
no
do
no I mean, I would say it's probably an enormous amount of privilege that is my experience.
Absolutely.
And I recognize that. I mean, I had a good lawyer. The detectives, though, like the main detective, like the DA didn't want to give me diversion, and she went to bat for me.
The
And-
DA went to
No,
bat.
the
for
No,
detective.
the detective.
Detective went to okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
y'all, my husband still texts her when I reach a milestone.
That's
like-
Awesome.
You know,
that's fine.
because there's good that can come from this recovery, and that's why I'm not embarrassed to tell my story,
Never
because
should be.
it's a part of who I am, and
Yep.
it's a part of what I experience, right? I have my experience to hopefully help give strength and hope to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And shout out to your husband too for sticking that out. You know what I mean? Because he didn't have to understand; he chose to,
Right.
and stood by your side. You know, a lot of times, people like us, we take for granted
Oh,
the people that's stuck in our corner.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
So he did the Long Branch Family Program my second weekend in treatment, and we talked about boundaries before I came home, and his main boundary to me was, you can't come home if you don't follow all the recommendations of the treatment team. But then he said, I will do the same. They have recommendations for me as a family member,
Absolutely.
and I will follow those recommendations. And so he went to Al Anon, and he got a sponsor, and he worked the steps, and now he sponsors men in Al Anon.
Oh man,
And that saved our marriage.
he the real deal.
He is the real deal. He is my best friend, my biggest supporter. And, the past 6 years of our marriage have been more like emotionally intimate than the first 21.
That's beautiful. That's
More
beautiful.
authentic, more real than anything we had in the first 21 years.
That's so beautiful.
Impressive.
And that's a testament to how creative we are, man. People like us in recovery, like we can do anything we put our mind to.
Right.
Do my stomach
Right.
so bad.
If I could just put a quarter of the energy I spent going to veterinarians into my recovery, I'd probably be pretty good.
Yep.
I still can't get over that. I mean, her full-time job was
Yes.
fluctuating from veterinarian to veterinarian. So, what at Long Branch now, building, relationships and building connections to find people hope and to find people help. Obviously, you were a stay-at-home mom for
Mhm.
15, 20 plus years or whatever it may be. So obviously the income wasn't a necessary. So obviously you don't do it for the income. What's your why?
Oh gosh. getting out of the bed in the morning and putting my feet on the floor and asking God, what can I do for you every day instead of what can you do for me? Um, and just following what is put in front of me,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's helping someone get into treatment, meeting with a therapist to tell them about our program, connecting with other marketing people in the industry. You know, if I could help one person find what I have found, then I have done my job.
Absolutely.
And it fills me with a purpose like I never had before, and the financial benefit is making financial amends to my family, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, veterinarians are expensive. I don't know if y'all know that, but like,
Not cheap.
I took all my kids' savings that they had been saving and we had matched for them when they were, in high school and working and stuff like that. I stole all their money. And so, when I got out, like that was my first order of business, was making financial amends to them. And I lived at Sober Living, and I got a job kind of job at Johnny's Pizza,
The jobby
working the
job.
buffet.
Come on.
I did,
How
and
humbling was
That's why.
that?
it was really humbling. I hated wearing the visor, and in the beginning, I would get embarrassed if I saw people I knew. Like,
Right.
what did they think? Do they think we're broke? Whatever. Well, we were, and it didn't. I learned so much from that job, like skills I didn't have: showing up on time, not stealing from the cash register, like
Yeah.
being a team player and taking initiative, doing more than was required of me. These skills that I needed in my RA job when I made a year sober, I got all of them at Johnny's Pizza.
Absolutely.
I'll never, ever. I'm so grateful I did that job. So grateful.
They got some good sandwiches too. What they call them?
Muffalettas?
Is that it? Like the chicken bacon ranch one?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
It's like a little photo over. It's like a
Oh,
expensive
yeah.
hot pocket.
Yeah, like a calzone.
Something like that. Yes. Oh my God. To die for.
They have great pizza. It's the pizza of my childhood.
Yeah, I've only had their pizza, and I've only had it in North Louisiana.
That's where I had it at. I had the flip over, bro. The little flip over, bro.
That's what it's called, the flip.
The flip. That's what it's called for real.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. And it's buttered on both sides of the bread. I'm
Little
gonna
Bob action.
Little Bob action.
Little butter on both sides.
B.O.B., man. I'm telling you, bro. Johnny's did their thing with that one.
Oh man. And so what's next for Jenny at the ranch? You know?
Ranch.
At the branch.
The branch.
What is-
You thinking about that chicken bacon ranch. I got you.
Long Branch is growing.
Absolutely.
We're opening 24 more beds at our substance abuse treatment program
Which
How many
covers
beds?
in
the
the
need.
fall.
How many beds do y'all have currently?
32.
So moving into what, 56?
56, yeah.
Awesome.
Cover to need.
And August 1st, we're opening a residential eating disorder treatment center for women.
Oh,
Really?
For like bulimia and anorexia and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that's man.
It's really needed in our
What, bruh?
state.
I
We don't
said it
have a lot
wrong?
of resources for eating disorders.
We don't have any. Like
Right.
we don't.
No. And so I'm really excited to be part of that.
That is,
Um,
it is
What
very
you laughed at, bro.
This is how you respond. Oh, for like believe me.
He's a mess.
It just gets me, bro. I'm sorry. We're diverting the conversation of this great, resource that we're going to be able to offer in Louisiana.
I got excited.
I know.
I got excited.
So-
We in the you normally call. I know you get calls too.
I get it. I
And
get
it's
it.
Like I don't know what to do.
So, on that aspect, how is that? Is that going to be a primary diagnosis or because I know I have a lot of people that come in that are battling substance abuse, and then as they get sober, they start picking up those
Right.
behaviors because everybody says we put down the spoon and pick up the fork. Look
Right.
at look at Ronnie.
Put down the syringe and pick up the fork.
Well, the saying is put down the spoon.
Oh, I got it.
That's the saying.
I get it.
And so is it going to be like people go there directly, or they after they complete a substance abuse treatment, or
So it will be primary eating disorder.
Okay.
And so, you know, the the benefit of having a substance abuse treatment program already is that we can treat dual diagnosis clients.
right?
So if someone admits to Long Branch and we realize 5, 7, 10 days in that their eating disorder is more primary, we can move them over. But we expect that we will get clients who don't have a substance abuse
And that's going to be
problem.
a residential program.
Yes.
Insurance or private pay?
Insurance and private pay.
So insurance will pay
Commercial
for that.
insurance.
Commercial insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cade ain't paying for that.
No.
If it lasts, we ain't gonna get into that. Then we
Yeah,
ain't gonna do
yeah,
politics.
Right.
We ain't doing
But-
politics.
It's an
That's awesome.
exciting opportunity to treat a population that is
Completely underserved.
difficult to treat and underserved.
Underserved is a great word for that.
Which I mean, also, in Louisiana, a place like Nora House is serving a population that in Louisiana I feel is underserved. In other states,
100%.
it's pretty. I just came back from Texas and huge veterans programs
Right.
and stuff like that. Louisiana is hard to find.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
and so expanding the 56, opening the is it still going to be Long Branch, or is it going to be
So, no, it's called Eating Disorder Treatment Centers.
okay?
Wow.
It's a different location, everything, and it's just for females, adult females.
Hell yeah,
Which
18 and up.
you tend to see that more in females,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
than males.
Yep.
Fun fact: I suffered from an eating disorder in high school.
Yeah, you eat everything you saw.
No,
Oh,
I would binge eat and purge.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I wrestled. I had to make weight.
Right.
So and then that turned into I'm finna ask something. I hope I don't sound ignorant, and I wanted somebody out there wanted to know this too, and I'm gonna just be the one to ask. Is eating disorder, is that considered passive SI?
No,
No, I don't think. That's a good question, but I don't know the answer to
mean,
it. I'm not a clinician.
I guess it could be, but I think more most people who, and I'm not gonna say most people that I have talked with that battle eating disorders, it's a form of similar to like self-harm, right? So it's not that they want to like really hurt themselves. It gives them a feeling of control,
Mhm.
and B, it makes them feel something,
Okay.
right? So like with an eating disorder normally comes from body dysmorphia or
Right.
whatever it may be.
You gave me
Uh,
that too, just not too, by the way, when you pointed at my stomach. I'm finna go not eat.
No, don't do. Well, if it gets too bad. But from people I've talked to, and I'm not speaking for everybody who's battled with it because I don't know everybody who's battled with it, but it's just a form of control, a form of feeling something. It's gonna
Yeah.
boil down to the same thing as any of the other addictions that people battle with, where I need to feel something. I need to get outside of myself because I'm not happy internally. Like Jenny was talking about, I was disconnected from people, disconnected from myself, disconnected spiritually, and I needed to feel something.
Got you.
Or we or whoever it may be. That's really at the basis of all the addictions that we strive to challenge people to overcome. For me, that's the basis of it, right? Is I'm not connected. Connection to me is spirituality, and so by not having those things, I can't find peace. I can't find happiness.
Yeah. Okay. And so outside of weight loss and like rotting of your teeth, what's some of the long-term health effects of an eating disorder?
Cardiac effects on your kidneys, effects on your hormones. I'm not a doctor, and so I don't have all the answers there, but it's really hard on your body, like your internal systems. And, just like substance use disorder, eating disorders affect the whole family.
Right.
So we will be treating the family. We
Yeah.
will have a family program.
This is so impressive, man.
And we're going to have a lot of like experiential therapeutic experiences, like a client and the dietitian and therapist going to a restaurant, going to a grocery store, going clothing shopping, some things that are triggering for a
those
client. And so let's practice it while you're supported.
Yeah.
How can we support you in these things that are really hard to do?
So what's an eating disorder doctor called? A dietitian?
So we will have dietitians.
We need to have a dietitian on. I want to have a conversation with a dietitian.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I can hook you up with ours.
Come on, let's do it. All
She's wonderful.
inclusive, never exclusive here.
Absolutely.
Redstick. I think that's amazing what y'all doing.
Yeah.
Because like Mike said, that is a super underserved community. Because I get calls a lot, and I feel helpless because I'm like, I don't know like what to do. So
Right.
shout out to Long Branch. Eating Disorders of America is what it's called.
Eating disorder treatment centers
Eating Disorder Treatment Center. Shout out to y'all.
And that's going to be located
in Covington.
in Covington.
Yep.
Long Branch is located in
Abita Springs.
Abita Springs, right?
So-
They
And
got
then,
the
and where
best
is Nora
burgers.
House located?
Nora is located in Covington, like kind of far out in the country.
Okay.
They got the best burgers at Mug Shots in Beta Springs.
What's it called?
Mug Shots.
Good Burgers.
The best ever. And you know, you coming from the burger guy.
Yeah, man likes burgers.
You
You
hear how
get the
hard-
one with peanut butter on it.
Ugh. No, peanut butter is not for smoothies. Peanut butter is not for burgers.
I agree.
Wait a minute. They put peanut butter on a
Yes,
burger?
they do.
That sounds disgusting.
Agreed. It's not.
Like, a
It's
cook-
not for me, but I'm not going to yuck somebody else's yum.
You right. You right. I don't want to like. Ugh.
I'm trying to see where that. I mean, I guess it's the savory sweet. Savory sweet.
No,
know.
it's no peanut butter that made me go yum.
You don't like peanut butter?
No, I love peanut butter, but not on like stuff.
So I like to dip my Fritos in peanut butter.
Dude, you are so weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
You are so weird, bro. I never knew that about you.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's so good. Don't knock
To
it till you
give
try
that a
it.
try.
Don't knock it till you try it. So as you talk about peanut butter on a burger, kind of intrigued.
So you gonna put peanut butter in your smoothie?
I mean, if it's like a protein smoothie,
Yeah,
I would.
You would for real?
Yeah.
Disgusting,
Okay.
man.
Well, y'all come to Covington. Come see Long Branch. I'll take you out to Nora House, and then we'll go to Mug Shots, and you can try peanut butter on the burger.
We gotta do it. Don't just say it
It's
in
a
front of
date.
the camera, Mike.
Let's do it.
Don't say it in front of the camera, Mike. And then,
I
cause I'm gonna call you out now. We gonna do it.
we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do
We're
it.
doing it.
Let's
We're
set
gonna
a
do
I
date.
ain't doing the peanut butter though.
You don't have to do the peanut butter. I want the peanut butter.
I do want to see Nora House. Though. I've heard.
Yeah,
great
yeah,
Oh,
things about
absolutely.
It's really special.
I did a workshop out there.
Oh yeah, you did. Soul drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
at the outpatient.
at our IOP.
Yeah, at the outpatient
Yeah.
spot.
We've moved. Our IOP has moved to a
Really?
bigger building.
Y'all needed to.
We
That
did. We
building
needed
was
more
interesting.
space.
That
Yeah,
and
you
that
could
building
say it
was
was
interesting.
It was a lot of
What was
apartments.
interesting
Yeah.
Like
about it, Mike?
fancy apartments on the
Yeah.
second and third floor, and then Long Branch on the first.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Yeah,
but we moved.
it was hard to find too.
Yes,
So,
in downtown Covington. Yeah,
Wait,
very
Covington
little.
got a downtown?
Very little. Every city has a downtown.
super quaint.
Every city.
Not every.
I
city.
was about to challenge,
Not every city.
challenge you on that.
But I mean, technically, yes.
But Covington big enough for a downtown?
Yeah,
So they got an east and west in uptown Covington?
I don't know about all
I
that.
don't know about all that,
I
but
thought you had to have an uptown to have a
No,
downtown.
I mean, there's probably an uptown. They just might not call it that.
right.
Where's downtown Covington?
It's
Downtown of
downtown.
Covington. So, what's you're talking about your kids? How has kind of talk about like some of the effects that your addiction had on them, and then some of the effects that the recovery aspect of your life has brought. Because you talked about your husband and that relationship
Yeah.
blossoming,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good word.
due to your recovery. So, what about your kids?
I think my kids, felt my addiction. Not only, that I broke their trust and stole from them and all that, but I just wasn't present,
Yeah.
like emotionally
Yeah.
present. And I could not remember squat. So, Mom, I need a poster board. It would be, and I'm like, oh, I'll pick it up today. never got the poster board. Like stuff like that.
Doggy
The-
cough syrup will do that to you.
the little things that moms are supposed to do
Yeah.
that I was just letting go undone. And in recovery, I would say my relationship with my children is a lot more honest.
Mhm.
I feel like they can talk to me about things that maybe they wouldn't have before. They're not going to get any judgment from
Right.
me, like, hey, I do not come from a place of superiority.
Yeah.
I am here. I'm here for you, and I'll help you through anything. And my daughter is 25. She lives in Houston.
H-Town?
Yep, she
Isn't
loves
she
it.
like a brain surgeon or something?
No, she got her master's in biomedical engineering,
That's the same
Georgia
thing I
Tech,
just said. I
and
literally just said that.
she works for Johnson and Johnson doing cardiac mapping.
Literally just said that.
You said brain.
That's
She
the
said
same-
cardiac.
That's the same
Nope,
thing.
brain, heart. Brain, heart.
But what I remember you telling me what your daughter did was super impressive.
Yeah, she's a go getter.
She works for Johnson & Johnson?
Yeah.
But the brain part,
I had a really fucked up joke.
I did not
Really
do it. I thought
fucked
I see that wasn't going on when she told me that. That wasn't going on when she told me that, but it is now. Stop it. Don't listen to him.
I'm missing something.
You are. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Take
And then my son is 22. He graduated from LSU in
Go Tigers.
December. Go Tigers. Both of them went to LSU.
Your
for undergrad.
2025 national champions in baseball.
Heck yeah.
No big deal.
Then they went in gymnastics again too.
I don't know. I was on my hiatus during the gymnastics national
I
championship.
could be wrong, but I'm
No,
pretty.
I don't think so because I saw a list of all the national championships that we've had since Scott Woodward took over, and all they had listed was the 23 national
23.
champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he is home right now, so he graduated in December, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's looking for a job.
Yeah.
He graduated in like tech, and he'll figure it out. I love having him home.
That's
He
what I
has
was
the
about to
sweetest
say.
dog, and it gives me.
So they still let you have a dog?
Yes, I have 3 at my house. I'm not allowed to take them to the vet, or I can now.
The vet sees him walk. Oh, sound the alarm.
Right.
Jenny from the branch.
That was on my boundaries when I first got home. You're not allowed to go to the vet. Okay,
That was good.
fair enough.
Good.
Yeah. But I love having him home, and it's an opportunity for living amends. Like every day for me is an opportunity to do things better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To make myself available, to be of service, to hopefully be a good human, like
Yeah.
do the next right thing, and things that I feel like I don't know how they come simple to normal people, but did not come simple for me.
Yep. You preaching to the choir.
Like not having to lie when I get out of bed and my feet hit the floor about why there's a dog in my purse on the way to the grocery store. I'd be like, I'm going to the grocery store. Jackson's going with me. And I'd be going to the vet, so not having to lie every day.
That is.
A dog in
That
the
would
purse.
forever be funny to me.
A
That's
dog.
what
in
rich
the
people do.
purse.
You be seeing those
I
girls
see
in
it. I
Beverly
see
Hills
'em.
with the
I
little
see
dog hole and the little head
No.
poking out.
Not rich.
So did you find yourself doing sympathy parenting? Because I know I did that a lot early in recovery. Just
Parenting out of guilt.
parenting out
Oh.
of guilt. Yeah, I call it sympathy parenting. But like parenting out of guilt. Like, you know what, you could do it. Like like this is me saying
Oh.
I'm sorry. Just do whatever. Or
Not-
try to.
Maybe trying a little bit to do that, but my first year of recovery was literally all about recovery. Like I worked my little pizza job, I stayed in sober living for a little while, and every day I went to meetings, met with my sponsor once a week. Like I was super in a routine. I found that to be really important for me in early recovery, and so, and I think in the beginning my kids were skeptical, so they were still going to their dad sad and hopeful that I could make it right,
Yeah.
but definitely sad. But it was fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I had damaged the relationship. It was on me to make it right,
Yeah.
not them. And I knew like my amends to them would take a long time
Absolutely.
Yeah.
for them to trust me again.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like that's fair.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did a episode with my daughter when Mike was on vacation, and she used words that I hadn't heard her say that made me feel like proud of you. But one of the main things she said that stuck with me is one of the fears that she have today is me relapsing.
Right.
And that's a fear that she carried with her no matter what I do. Like she hope I don't and know I won't, but then the fear is still there. So have your kids like expressed something like that to you?
They haven't, but I would be open to a conversation about
Right.
it certainly. And I can't promise them the future. I can promise them today I'm not going to drink and use drugs, and tomorrow I'll get up and look at tomorrow on that.
Yeah.
Every day is I'm operating on the day in front of me. I'm not trying to look too far out about my sobriety. Like, yeah, I want to stay sober for the rest of my life, but I'm going to do it one day at a time. Like, I used to have these like at the beginning, like, I won't be able to have a glass of champagne at my daughter's wedding. Well, if I had a glass of champagne at my daughter's wedding, it would ruin her wedding.
Yeah.
Like, things like that I like romanticized in my head about drinking, that I used to think, oh, I'm going to miss this or I'm going to miss that or I miss a glass of wine while cooking. No, that will blow my life up into
Yeah.
smithereens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, it's just not looking at it as a whole. Like, it's too overwhelming to look at it like that. So, like,
Yeah.
I wake up every day and ask God to keep me sober, ask Him to send me somebody to help, and ask God to, take away the desire to drink or use drugs.
Absolutely.
We've been fortunate to. This is 52.
No, this is 53.
This is 53.
Yep.
So, our 53rd episode, and we've had lots of guests. And one of the most profound things that I find when talking to guests in recovery is the background in which addiction affects. And, so many times the stigma and that's being broken as of recent, but for a long time, and there's still a semblance of it that carries on. The semblance or the stereotype is, the guy under the bridge with the brown paper bag and all of these things. And so I think it's profound that, we're able to shed light on influent or middle class or upper class or whatever it may be of people who suffer, and even the spoiled kid or the business owner or the housewife or whatever it may be, still being able to be afflicted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Afflicted by substance abuse. So, before we part, because we're getting to that time, what are some, I don't know, maybe words of inspiration that you would share with somebody who related to your story and is currently going through it and doesn't know where to go from here?
Yeah. I think I would say reach out. Message Built by the Redstick, message me, message
Hey,
any of
but
us.
natural.
I know the shame and guilt
Absolutely.
that we carry in addiction, and the shame and guilt kept me sick for a long time. And I would say that you have a brain disease, and it's not a moral failing, and there is hope on the other side. And I am here to help you in any way that I can, whether it's talking to your family or talking to you or holding your hand while you check in somewhere. Like, I will help in any way I can someone get sober. It is the hardest thing I've ever done, and it has yielded the greatest results I've ever had in my life. You know, getting to live an authenticity to me in recovery is my number one goal, is to be true to who I am, to not be ashamed of who I am, and to let the shame go. And so, you know, I know it's the hardest thing you might ever do, but just reach out to someone who loves you and say, help me.
Absolutely. So if anybody's, looking for him, what is a place that you feel comfortable giving that they can contact you?
My work email is Jenny, Jenny, P as in Paul, at longbranchhealthcare.com.
Y'all hear it. Y'all need some help. Reach out. Y'all know the normal. But unfortunately,
My least favorite.
Ronnie's least favorite time
Hope
has
you
come.
ain't gonna come.
But Ronnie, any further questions before you?
No, at all. I just want to thank you again for coming on and getting intimate with us and, sharing your story with us and giving us strength, hope through your experiences to all our listeners and viewers. And you even helped me out. And, to our audience and subscribers, like, you see, addiction has no face. It has no prejudice. Like, it don't care what you look like. It don't care your financial situation. It don't care your ethnicity. None of that. Your religious beliefs.
You can even get it if you're a dog.
You can even get it if you a dog, bruh. So the moral of the story is, right, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You give a woman a dog, she gonna come home with 30 felonies. But seriously, we just thank y'all every week for tuning in with us. We couldn't do this without y'all. Again, like Mike said at the beginning of the episode, like, share, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all built by the Redstick. We love y'all. If you're struggling, please reach out to us at any one of those platforms that I just said. You can reach me at Ronnie LeDuff on Facebook. You can reach Mike at Michael Axelrod Oakley on Facebook. Until next time, y'all, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Redstick, built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all.
Different.